It was an important day in the yard. Everyone was busy and excited, making notes and taking photographs. A special visitor had arrived and was now the center of attention. "Who is that?" whispered Thomas to Duck. "That," said Duck proudly, "is a celebrity." "A what?" asked Percy. "A celebrity is a very famous engine," replied Duck. "Driver says we can talk to him soon." "Oh," said Thomas, "he's probably too famous to even notice us." Just then, Gordon arrived. "Puh," said Gordon. "Who cares? A lot of fuss about nothing, if you ask me." And he steamed away. Later that night, the engines found that the visitor wasn't conceited at all. He enjoyed talking to the other engines till long after the stars came out. Gordon was cross and didn't care what he did. He waited till the table was halfway round. I'll show them, he hissed. He moved slowly forward to jam the table, but he couldn't stop himself and slithered into a ditch. "Whoosh!" he hissed. "Get me out! Get me out!" "Not a hope," said his driver and fireman. "You're stuck, you silly great engine. Don't you understand that?"
Gordon was looking forward to seeing Spencer. "Run out of water?" he teased. "Yes," snapped Spencer. "I must have a leaky tank." "Perhaps," smiled Gordon. "But we'd better hurry. Everyone is waiting." Gordon switched to Spencer's line and was coupled up. Then they set off. "See," said Gordon, "we're right on time." Spencer was embarrassed. "What do you think of Spencer now?" whispered Thomas. "Too much puff and not enough steam." "Well, John," said the Fat Controller, "you're the fastest engine on Sodor." "I know that," muttered Gordon. Gordon squeaked and rattled and knocked all the way to Brendan Docks. Salty and Henry were surprised. They had never heard an engine make such awful noises.
"Sounds like another steamy ready for the scrapyard,"
sneered Diesel. But Gordon didn't care about Diesel. He had made good time and the children would catch their boat. "I made it," he cried proudly. "Thank you, Gordon," shouted the children happily. "I knew you could do it," said the Fat Controller. "But why haven't you been to the repair yard?" "The repair yard?" gasped Gordon. "You have been making lots of noises," said the Fat Controller. "You need to have your engine looked at." "So you're not going to scrap me?" asked Gordon. "Scrap Gordon," boomed the Fat Controller. "The fastest engine on Sodor. Who would pull the express?" Gordon beamed with pride. Gordon spent the next day having his pistons polished, his axles greased, and his wheels well and truly oiled. At last, he didn't make any more funny noises. Gordon was as good as new, and he felt even better.
Edward was getting old. His bearings were worn and he clanked as he puffed along. He was taking empty cattle cars to a market town. The sun shone, birds sang. But Edward was heading for trouble. Come on, he puffed. Oh, screamed the cars. Edward puffed and clanked. The cars rattled and screamed. Some cows were grazing nearby. They were not used to trains. The noise and smoke disturbed them. As Edward clanked by, they broke through the fence and ran across the line. A coupling was broken and some cars were left behind. Edward felt a jerk, but didn't take much notice. He was used to cattle cars. Bother those cars, he thought. Why can't they come quietly? He was at the next station before either he or his driver realized what had happened. When Gordon and Henry heard about the accident, they laughed and boasted. Fancy allowing cows to break your train. They wouldn't dare do that to us. We'd show them. Old Toby was cross. You couldn't help it, Edward. They've never met cows. I have, and I know the trouble they are.